Hi, this is Scott Siskin. I'm the president of First Republic Mortgage Bankers. When you need a mortgage, call First Republic Mortgage Bankers and deal direct. Eliminate the middleman. No mortgage broker fees. Stop wasting your hard-earned money on your high-rate mortgage and your credit cards. You can save every single month by refinancing. You personally can save every month by locking in the lowest rates in over 30 years. And we make house calls to the entire tri-state area 7 days a week. Call 718-380-0006 if you're buying a home or you want to refinance your home. 718-380-0006.
But the important thing for you to want and desire is to be able to get the facts and feel confident.
Let me ask a question, all right? This one is from me, and I have this question. By the way, folks, yesterday, we've decided to do a lot, more extended talking. We've been doing a lot of music, and yes, we know the Vintage Reggae Fest is coming up. It's 70% sold out. I'm confident it's going to be a great event. But there are a lot of things that needs to be cleared up, and I'm very happy that Mr. Siskin here is doing it in a positive manner, structured manner, meticulous manner, and answering the questions that are out there. Now, here's a question that I'm putting at you, Scott. And I don't want you to be biased as to how you answer this question, because this question is coming from thousands of individuals that listens to this station, thousands of individuals that's out there all over the tri-state area. This question is in their head. There's a lot of conflicting information that's flying around, okay? You clarified a lot of it today. But let's say someone is sitting out there in their car, someone is sitting at home, someone is at work, okay, and they're saying, okay, how do I choose the right financial institution? How do I choose the right financial institution to handle my purchasing and my refinancing? And I want for you not to be biased. I personally believe that First Republic Mortgage Bankers is definitely the best. But I want for you not to be biased on this, although that might be kind of hard because you do own the company. But I want for you to speak generally. How can an individual out there choose the right financial institution to purchase their home or refinance their home?
Well, they have to gather information, gather facts. You know, if somebody's AAA credit, you know, full doc and so forth, they pretty much have their choice of who they can go to. So it's a matter of basically discussing with them what are the rates, what's the points, who's going to do the loan, you know, what is the cost, finding out if it's comparative, if it's a mortgage broker, if it's a mortgage banker, clarifying that it's locked in at application, because that's very important. People play games with that. They bait and switch. It happens all the time. And they have to then, if they're not AAA, evaluate their situation and say, well, who has...
Hold on. When you say AAA, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off. You know, my mom always says, why are you always cutting off people? If they're not AAA, I mean, what is AAA?
Well, I'm using AAA. It's not really the way we...
Meaning A1
They have
Tier 1
they over 680 credit score, and it's totally an income verified loan. Maybe they're refinancing and they're not taking much cash out. It's a low loan to value.
Okay, you can proceed.
So they can go and just shop, but they got to make sure they're getting the facts. So even with a mortgage banker or a bank, they have to clarify to you in writing whether they're locking in your interest rate. So it's very important for you to know that. One of the things that also is very important is for you to understand, well, if you are not in the AAA category, for example, you need to get a no-income verification, whether you're refinancing or purchasing. You don't know whether you should go stated or not stated. If you're self-employed, you're not self-employed. What program is going to work for you? Right. So you need to speak with hands-on people.
And it sounds like everyone's case is unique and could go in a different direction.
And that's, what the hands-on situation is that you can speak to somebody who is knowledgeable, experienced, and able to address your situation. Remember, 718-325-5555, and is able to address your situation. I believe as a direct lender, we're more capable. Because if our loan officers have a question, they've been told to say, let me get back to you. Hold on a second. They run to the back. They ask the underwriter, if this is okay. Will this scenario work?
Because the underwriter's right there.
Right there.
What if it was a broker?
If it's a broker, they have to make a phone call, because they don't underwrite loans. And the beauty is also, a lot of times someone will say, this is a borderline case. Whether it's Fannie Mae or it's an FHA, it's borderline. The ratios are too very high. The credit score is lower than the standard. We will get information from the people before they ever pay a penny, put it through automated underwriting, and often get an approval. And that is a real approval. That's what we call the fast track.
Right.
And it happens for a majority of our loans that people are approved. And a lot of loans that we used to not be able to do before automated underwriting came out are now able to be done. People whose income to debt ratios are high, who normally would have had to be pushed into a no-income verification loan. People whose credit score is below the standard, for that particular program. There's other mitigating factors. The program has its own logic. It's incredible because the decision comes in minutes.
Right.
It's really incredible, the logic. And we've seen it evolve, with how it layers risk, and looks at different things for strength and so forth. And we understand what it's looking for. We know when we look at something whether or not it has a chance. If it doesn't have a chance, we're not going to put it in. But we'll do that before you come in so that we can say, okay, good news. I can get you that, that conventional loan that we discussed.
Right.
Or, here's the story. You need to go FHA. The good news is I got an automated approval, and we can still give you a rate as low as 5.5 with an APR of 6.28 and a cost per thousand borrowed of $5.68. We have that ability because we're directly connected to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, approved seller servicers.
Others aren't.
Other mortgage bankers aren't, and no mortgage broker can securitize a loan directly. They can't connect electronically to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac directly.
Hence, you can help this community a lot more. Let's open up the phone line. Scott Siskin, you need to take some call. But when we come back, here's the question I'm presenting to you because these are all questions that pops in. This is one of mine also. The question I'm going to ask is, have you ever seen where an institution has been brought up on fraud charges and criminal-related issues because of the business that they're doing in the mortgage industry? When we come back, you can answer that question. I sound like Larry King here. I just need business. Anyway, folks, right now, I'm going to ask Scott Siskin, along with Tony Shafiq and, of course, the team here. We brought the First Republic Mortgage Bankers team in today. It was very important that we did that. And we told them I want every question to come at me. I am very confident as to what I have done here for over a decade. I'm very solid with it. I will tell you all, and folks, you have seen it. If there's an entity or a client or a sponsor that gets on Link Up Radio, and sometimes you see them disappear or they're not there, okay? Sometimes the reason is because I honestly say, I'm sorry, I don't care how much money you're offering me, this can't work. It has happened. I can run down names, But folks, it is very important that you do your research, you do your homework. And I'm very happy that a lot of people out there has been calling me. They have all been calling me and asking me questions to ask Scott Siskin. It continues. We will ask more questions because, folks, this more than likely is the largest financial transaction you're doing in your life. And you should not feel as if you're being ripped off. You should not feel that way. You should have an understanding as to the loan program. You should have an understanding as to the interest rate, the closing cost, why the closing costs are high, why the closing costs are low. What is the connection between the rate and the closing cost? Why a government-backed program? Why a conventional program? These are questions that's in our heads. And if Scott Siskin cannot answer them, guess where he's going to be? Back in LIB. And guess where LIB is? Guess where, Scott?
I happen to believe that they are doing 100% gospel music.
Okay.
Is that true?
That's what I heard. But that's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing.
That's a great thing.
But the whole thing where they threw out.
Then maybe you should. You should. Why don't we research? Why don't we research that show? We should research that. That's a good market.
Well, we do hit the main. I think the majority of that.
I mean, I know you got the New York Post, the Daily News,
and Gil Bailey.
And Gil Bailey
specifically has a gospel. So we feel we're hitting that area, and I have at times thought about that, and I haven't really looked into the ratings and all that kind of stuff. I sort of have bad feelings about what they did at LIB. They threw out people with like a day's notice. Everybody was out.